say Mr. or the surname, rather you would say the professor's first name. And you're very encouraged to actually contribute with your ideas and comments in class. So it's not very common that you would just be listening to your lecture, rather it's a two-way conversation. And that's why it's independent and creative thinking is strongly encouraged in the classroom. The autumn semester runs from beginning of September to mid-January, and then the spring semester from mid-January to June. And if you're doing a 2 years master's program, it means that between June, July, August, you're actually off. So then you might want to work or study or travel back home. And if you're doing 1 year master, you would actually finish in June. One semester is 20 weeks, and you receive 30 credits for this semester. And most master's programs are all 120 credits. Some of them are 60 credits, so 1 year. The bachelor programs are all 180 credits, so 3 years. Eligibility requirements. So this is specific for India. So if you want to enter into a master's program, the minimum requirement is a 4-year bachelor's degree or a bachelor degree followed by a master's degree. You can check for special requirements and exemptions on universityadmissions.se and then look at India. And this is quite important because depending on what you've studied before, you need to make sure that you fulfill the entry requirements to apply to the program, because if you don't fulfill them, you won't be accepted. And the university admissions website, that's the Sweden-wide website for all education. So you will be able to actually see all universities and all programs across the country on the same website, which is very handy. English language requirement. You need to submit some type of test if you haven't previously studied your full degree in English, and it clearly says that on your transcript. For example, you can do a TOEFL with a total score of 90 or an IELTS with 6.5. And as well here for exemptions, you can also check universityadmissions.se and then look at English language requirements. Fees. Everyone will need to pay an application fee, and that's to university admissions. You pay that one. And in Indian rupees, that's 6,600. And then you will pay a tuition fee, and that's per academic year. It's within humanities, social sciences, and law. It's about 660,000 Indian rupees. And sciences is about 1,030,000 Indian rupees. Then there are a few specific programs that have set specific tuition fees, but you will find them on our website. It's only, I think, 2 or 3 that's outside of these ones. For example, computer and system sciences are, instead of Swedish crowns 140,000, it's 135,000 Swedish crowns. So it would maybe be 950,000 rupees maybe. The scholarships that Stockholm University offers is a tuition fee waiver, and that is for especially qualified students, and it's also based on academic merits. And you have the website there, su.se/scholarships, for more information, but more or less make sure that you select when you apply at university admissions, your program at Stockholm University as your number 1 choice, because you can choose 4 programs. And then they will look at the ones that have selected the number 1, and then also at your academic merits. This is an average monthly budget, and we count with about 66,000 Indian rupees per month. I won't go into that more, but it's approximately, depending on where you decide to live. And similar to India, if you live very central, it will be more expensive. If you live together with a friend, maybe a little bit outside, it will be a little bit cheaper. If you want to work in Sweden while you study, you're welcome to work as much as you want to. It's no requirement or limit on that. It's just that it might be that you are here for studies, so you make sure that you have time for your studies, and then that you can apply for a part-time job maybe. And after you have finished your studies, you will be able to, at the moment, stay for 6 months, but they are currently looking at changing this to 12 months. And then you will be able to find a job or start your own company, and then you can get a work visa in Sweden. A good tip is to try and learn Swedish as soon as possible, because it's always easier if you can know a bit of Swedish, English, and then also whichever other languages that you would speak. Stockholm University offers free Swedish language courses that you will receive more information about when you arrive here, but they are in the afternoon and evenings, and they are very much appreciated, and a lot of international students take them. And with that, that was pretty much what I wanted to say. So I hope that you want to make Stockholm part of your future. And the application deadline is actually open at the moment from mid-October to mid-January is the application timeline. And then in beginning of 15th of January, you need to submit your application to universityadmissions.se. And by 1st of February, you need to submit any supporting documents. So maybe your English language test, for example. And then in beginning of April, you will find out if you get in or not, if you're admitted. And then you would start in September, beginning of September next year. And if you have any questions, you have our website, su.se/study. And you also have our email address, study@su.se. And if you have any specific questions about a program or want to know more about a specific program, this QR code actually takes you to a web form, and there you can click on the specific program you're interested in, and then I will send you an email with information about that program and the admissions requirements and entry requirements. So this is a good link, but you just need to take a photo of it, and then you can do that later on. And yes, thank you. That was all for me, and I will hand back to you, Sanjay, for maybe taking some questions.
Thank you, Madelene. Excellent presentation. And I love this QR code. So students don't have to send an email, just have a photograph. Today in India, most of the students, I think everyone who's attending the session has a smartphone. So I'm sure they can take the QR code and get in touch with you. Now, Madelene, you have lots of questions sitting in the chat box. Okay, you have approximately 6 to 8 minutes. So pick up maybe 5 or 6 questions, and remember to note down the name of the Indian student whose question you liked. So we announce at the end who are the students who asked you the best question in relation to your presentation. Over to you, Madelene.
Thank you, Sanjay. Yeah, I'm just scrolling through some photos now, and I just checking here what we have got. So it's for my presentation, not for the DAD presentation too. German, here we go, checked connection. So this must be, I have a German certificate in written IELTS. Fully funded scholarship available for your university. Yeah, so the scholarships in general are for the masters, the 2-year master's programs. So for bachelor levels, we don't have any scholarships available. And the scholarships, yeah, you would be able to look on it if it's available for sociology, but I don't think it's specific for any programs. It's more if you do a 2-year master's at Stockholm University and then your grades. And for admission, what are the scores required? TOEFL, yeah, I've gone through that. Can mechanical bachelor students study astronomy? I would recommend you to actually go into if you go on this QR code and tick astronomy, I could actually send you an email directly, and then you have the entry requirements. But mechanical, I assume you mean mechanical engineering, maybe. But if you mean mechanical, depending on what you mean with that background, but I can help you with following up with that. Ma'am, I know everything. If you help me, then I complete my dream to. Can you please clear all the step-by-step processes and requirements to get admission so that we have to apply, must have all the documents ready. So there will be no delay to admission. Next, IELTS test is mandatory to get admission at Stockholm University. This is a very good question. I reckon you would be receiving a scholarship. Param Sangha. This is a very good question, actually, a step-by-step guide or process to how you actually apply. And that's a very relevant question, actually. And in general, I would recommend you to look at, you will receive an email. If you use the QR code, you will receive an email from me with actually a step-by-step guide to how you apply. But also on the university admissions website, they have very good detailed information about how you apply for any degree in Sweden. But for example, that you first have to find which program you're interested in. The second step would be to check the general entry requirements, which in general are that you have to have a bachelor degree and then fulfill the English language requirement. The next step would be if the program they are looking at have any specific entry requirements. So that could be maybe if you need to submit any previous work certificate or CV, or if you need a professor's confirmation, or it could be some specific entry requirements there that you need to submit further documents on. And then that you submit your application on time before 15th of January. And you have to pay the application fee. It's pretty much those steps. But in the email, I'll send you more information. So it's a very, very good question. And I hope you will be able to apply before the 15th of January. Scholarship. Requirements for PhD admissions for international students. That's also a good question. So in general, I work with coursework over master's or bachelor programs. But in general, if you're looking at a PhD in Sweden, it's a very good thing to actually do a PhD because it's a paid position. So it's more as a job rather than you're a student. And you apply for a PhD directly to the department, which means that it's not a central process for it. Rather, you look at which program area you're interested in or which department, and then you can either look on their website if they have specific requirements for PhD. Some, for example, I think it's both computer sciences and business. I think they have their deadline twice a year. Some other departments have them throughout the whole year. Some of them want you to contact them directly with your CV. So it's a few different ways to get into the PhD. And I also have another email. If you do use a QR code, you will see down the bottom there is a box that you can tick for PhD. And then I can send you the email that's relevant for the PhD and also the links to our website. Ma'am, I want to apply for master program in disease and analysis sciences. Yeah, that's great. You can also use the QR code and I can send you information about that specific program. Astrophysics. Job aspects in Sweden after a master for international students who doesn't know Swedish. I'd say it depends on how eager you are to find a job and if you want your perfect job. More or less, me and my husband moved from Australia 2 years ago to Sweden, and he don't speak Swedish, and he got a job very easily, actually. But then it depends, I think, on what you want to do, and if it's a specific job within your degree, or if you just want to get into the workforce. I would say using the Swedish lessons, that's anyway for free, would be a very good recommendation to try and learn Swedish. And also try and get a part-time job maybe while you study or in the summer break when you anyway have 3 months off, or even look at if your program maybe have an internship that you can do in Sweden. PhD. I mentioned admission in master's student must have 4-year bachelor degree, but in India all the bachelor degrees are not 4 years. Most of the degrees are 3 years. Then what about admissions for them? This is also a very good question. I think Parami was you that wrote before. Otherwise, I would have given you 2 scholarships. But this is actually a very good comment, because for a lot of degrees in India, you have 3-year bachelors. But as I mentioned too, that you either need to have a 3-year bachelor and then have done a master's degree, or a 4-year bachelor program. And this is something you can also contact me directly, and I can get you onto the admissions team to help you to clarify it more. But it's also on the university admissions website under entry requirements. But it's a very good thing that you really need to make sure that you actually fulfill these requirements before you apply, because if you don't, you won't get a place, and it's no point applying and paying the money for the application fee.
Madelene?
Yes.
Yeah, could you take the last question now? And after that, you need to give me the 2 names.
Yes. Let's see. I think maybe the 2 questions I took from beginning were the good ones. Now I can't find them again, but it was it Param?
You should have written the name. That's why I said there's so many questions coming. It gets difficult to remember the name.
Yes,
you didn't
but Parang Sangha?
Parang?
Yes.
Okay, and second one?
And the second one, let's see whether it's mentioned about the PhD here. Yeah. Yes, we can do Sahan Atif.
Oh, sorry?
Sahan, Shahan, Atif.
Atif.
Yes.
Sahan Atif. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Madelene, let me take this opportunity to thank you. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your presentation. And I tried using your QR code. It works very well. So for Indian students who have been attending the session, please use the QR code and try to get admission in Stockholm University, one of the best universities in a Nordic country. I can vouch for it. So all the very best to all of you. And thanks, Madelene. Thanks for your presentation.
Yes, thank you, Sanjeev. See you. Bye-bye.